All right, it looks like we are ready to rock right here. What's going on, everyone? And welcome to the show, the Xbox Roundtable. This is episode number 163, your place for Xbox talk and more from around the game world. This is your host, Invader, and boy oh boy, over the past couple of weeks, we've had a lot of stuff happening. All right, we had Cyberpunk 2077 release. There's lots of chatter going on about it right now. We also had, from a couple of weeks ago, the Game Awards, which brought with it quite a few announcements for Xbox. We will definitely cover all the excitement there. As well, 343 Industries released a massive update regarding Halo Infinite, the progress going on there, bringing you details on development, and a new release window. How exciting. But before we get into all that news, let me introduce everyone on the panel tonight, and I will start with Jeremy. Hey, what is up, Cyberdowner?
The Canadian, what's going on, buddy? How was your week?
The American, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good, just, chilling, kicking back, got all my Christmas wrapping, all the presents all wrapped up, all done, and hey, I'm set, man, ready to go, and I got some gaming in too, right?
Yeah, I did too. I had a chance to play the Gears 5 Hive Busters DLC.
Mhm.
I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the Coalition's efforts. I think the overall presentation of the game was great. So,
Did the guys in the black vans with the Xbox logos come by your house again, man, and give you more Kool-Aid?
But the DLC really shows off what the Coalition's capable of doing. At least from like an artistic viewpoint. So I think they nailed it with like the visuals and just the overall production and the set pieces and everything from the lighting. It was great. The DLC is great. I'm really happy to see it.
Right. Yeah, I need to check that out still. Didn't really have time to jump into it, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, from the presentation to the gameplay, and it gives you a nice chunk of, of just Gears action, and some nice additional campaign story there for the Hive Busters. So yeah, no, that's great. We definitely got to try that out sometime, fellas. Moving on down the list, Eric Shockley, buddy. Hey, how have you been over the past week? Shock?
He doesn't realize he's on mute. He muted himself.
As soon as you said my name, had to switch it.
All right, what's going on, brother?
Oh, not much lately. I did jump on that Hive Busters just to see what everybody's talking about as far as the visuals. But yeah, that one looks pretty sweet, and I'm definitely excited to see where they go with it. Hopefully, maybe they'll do a new IP in between this and Gear 6. Who knows? But that was really cool to see them kind of flesh out and do something, I guess sort of different, from nothing really attached to the original characters. And then I've been playing some Cyberpunk. It's been pretty smooth. I haven't had any issues on the Series X as far as like game crashing or anything like that. The only thing that I found that was kind of weird is like your your character's chest size might shapeshift if you go bigger in that area, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I noticed that. It's like, wait, I change out my armor, and it's like, oh, you asked us if you want, depending on like the size of your character, like whatever bust size, and then it like shapeshifts because they haven't, I don't know, programmed it to, if you put clothes on, that they're actually going to be like that size underneath. I just thought that was weird. It's like, I get it, but then when you see it like shape shifting in the menus, it's like, okay, this is kind of weird. Can I just go back and just change my character? But,
Right. Well, I mean, it
yeah.
can't be as bad as, I've been seeing some character models and their digital dong is hanging out of their pants. So
Yeah. I had that, except I think that's probably what it was, because I chose, a big bust size, and the nipples were sticking out of the shirt. So they didn't program it right. So it's like, so then when you do, it did stop doing that, but then now it's like, it just shaped Chef down to a smaller size to get it to fit. I don't know what they did, but they definitely have some bugs to program out of there in the next few patches.
Yeah, got to work on them nipple physics, right? But all right, moving on down the list here, we got Centurion 50 Cent. How's the gaming been?
Oh man, what is up, all my friends and fam? How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah,
bud.
I know, right? It's been good though. Gaming. Looks like the community is active and speaking out about all sorts of stuff. Definitely Cyberpunk being the number one subject. Oh my God, could we have seen this coming? To actually hear Cyberpunk mentioned in the same conversations as games like Anthem and Fallout 76. It's definitely been an interesting week, but definitely ready to talk about some games. Especially if I'm right, I'm trying to remember. It all blends together. Didn't we miss last Sunday?
Yes, thanks for reminding us.
No, thanks for reminding us. Well, I've got 2 weeks of excitement now.
Right. Yeah, fellas, we're playing a little bit of catch up here, obviously. Thankfully, there hasn't been as many big announcements the past week as the previous one, so we can cover what we missed last week, plus, fit in some of the juicier discussions with Cyberpunk going on at the moment. But yeah, that's right. We missed last week, but we will certainly make up for it. And we got some good stuff going on for this show. Just checking out the chat here. We got Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom here, Noof Nukem, hey buddy, Silk Slayer, Mike from Next Level Gaming, PyCon Fusion, Pong Soul, lots of really good people in the chat so far. Guys, remember to tweet this out and let everybody know that the show is live. I'll be doing that in a moment. TimDog and Megatron are going to be a little later, so expect them to come in through the back door at any moment. And of course, before we get into the news, a reminder that courtesy of Megatron, we are going to be giving away a digital Xbox copy of Cyberpunk 2077 during the show. It's a code for the US. So keep your eyes peeled in the chat as we'll be dropping the code, well, at any point, really. It's basically whenever I feel like it. So all you guys in the chat and whoever's listening in, watching in, definitely keep your eyes peeled for that one. Yeah, Infinite, I know you're only here for the giveaways. Haha, nice one, buddy. Good thing I know that you're always here every Sunday. Okay, fellas, well, on that note, let's move into our first topic of the night. And of course, everybody knows what it is. Finally, after numerous delays, Cyberpunk 2077 has released, it released the week before, to the masses, and there's been a lot of talk about it. Both the good and the bad, really. And honestly, I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on the panel, everybody here who has played it so far. Admittedly, I haven't gotten to it just yet, but I will be. I promise. I definitely want to play this sucker. I'll start with Jeremy. Hey, buddy, how have your impressions been of it so far?
I mean, my impressions have been great, but I think the Invader, there's really a tale of two tapes on the opinions or whatnot with Cyberpunk. People who are currently playing like on the high-end PC, those who are playing on an Xbox Series X, and even the ones that are playing on just the regular One X, and then there's everybody else. I've played the game on 3 platforms, again, high-end PC, a Series X, and I've even dabbled on the OG Xbox One, which again, it plays like mud. The OG Xbox, but those who are playing on a base Xbox or even a base PS4 had a different experience. I haven't played the updated versions of that, but they've had a different experience than those who are playing on a PC or even a Series X. So, no doubt that CD Projekt Red will work those things out. But I've played the game now over 30 hours, probably the most out of anybody here by far. I can say, even with all the bugs that I've experienced, which is a lot of bugs, right off the bat, and some of the game issues that take you out of that experience, I could honestly say that Cyberpunk is still one of the best games ever made. And you've seen it on two sides of the coin. You've seen people rate the game really high. Those who really got into it, those people who played it, they've said the same thing that I'm saying right now. And then you have the other side of the coin. But everything from the varied quests that you go on, the characters that you meet, just the sheer amount of depth from the gameplay. I mean, the weaponry you get in the game, the RPG elements, I can go on about the perks and the things that you can actually do and see in the game is absolutely amazing, and it's never been done on a scale such as this. CD Projekt Red, nobody, not even Take Two and the team at Rockstar, nobody's done this on this type of scale. The game is that good, which is why you have people on one side of the fence saying, it's one of the best games ever made. It's a technical marvel if you're playing on all the high-end PC with all the ray tracing, bells and whistles. And then you're playing like I played with the original OG Xbox, which is absolutely horrible. I don't suggest you play that. I think I think CD Projekt Red, their team in general, was way in over their head creating the world of Cyberpunk. I don't think the game is so massive, Invader, and there's so much that goes on inside that world that I don't care what development team you threw at it, they were going to have major issues. So, this is not an excuse, for all the bad things that the game brought. But I do think the whole holding the footage for the base consoles was blown out of proportion because, stuff like this has been going on forever. I don't know if you remember, there's a lot of games that they hold until the release date because they don't want reviewers, to trash the game a week or two, even 3 weeks ahead of the game because nobody would buy it. I don't think this was the case. But there was also the PS4 footage that leaked weeks before the launch. So, to me, there's no difference, Invader, between games like Sea of Thieves, the way it launched. I mean, you don't know the abomination it launched in. It was in bad shape. It was almost like it was a beta. It launched as a beta. It really did. Games like Rainbow Six Siege, you guys remember that. I can go as far as Battlefield 4, and you remember Battlefield 4. I mean, it hasn't been that long where it was being patched. That particular game was being patched a year later. You got the Master Chief Collection. The multiplayer didn't work for 6 months. I mean, I can go on Assassin's Creed Unity and all the problems that it had. What about what's the other game? Batman, Batman Arkham Knight on the PC.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers pulled that game from the retail and it didn't re-release until 4 months later. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do. That was pretty bad.
So these class action lawsuits, they're kind of laughable in my opinion. Yeah, it has to do more on the shareholder end, but they're still laughable in my opinion. Cyberpunk has a lot more going for it than the games I just mentioned, so I think a lot more, to be honest. And I think the game's going to recover from this, and so will CD Projekt Red. There's still tons of people playing this game, Invader.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of people who are really, really enjoying it because it is a great game. It just so that's my take on it. I think they did it's one of the best games ever made, just from top to bottom. And that's my opinion. People have different opinions. Yeah, you want the bugs out, but again, what they've created and what they're able to accomplish, the sheer magnitude of the game, its verticality, the places that you can go to, the things that you see, the things that you can do. I mean, it's absolutely mind blowing. I mean, not even Fallout, which is a huge game, not even not even the biggest games like Red Dead Redemption have even come close to what Cyberpunk brings to the table, just in terms of just everything that's going on in the world. So, I just think, they're still in good shape. I mean, but you do have the other side of the coin where the game's just absolutely being trashed. So
Now,
yeah.
I have to ask because there are some comments being made in the chat that are worth noting. Like, I mean, obviously this game was in development for quite some time, and I realize that it's hard, games of these magnitude, it's hard to get everything. And I am willing to give them slack in certain areas. I mean, people often say that Bethesda games often have a charm to them, bugs, right? And okay, fine. But you have a situation where, again, this is the beginning of a new console generation. This game, while, I mean, obviously it's for the most part seems to be working pretty well on PCs, you have a situation where you have over 100 million PlayStation 4s, presumably, I'll just say 60 million Xbox One consoles. The majority of console sales, well, as of this moment, is going to be on, well, again, previous gen consoles. And for this game to launch in the condition that it is on those consoles, like, there's a lot of mixed opinions regarding this game, and that's why they're giving away refunds.
Yeah, I hear you. They don't get a pass, but at the same time, I give them a pass because I've never seen, the game is literally a living, breathing world, and there's nothing. Again, nothing has been done on the scale of this magnitude as far as, I mean, the people walking in the streets, just everything that you can see, everything that you can do, all the physics tied into that world, just everything that it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So imagine programming for that. And that's where they get the pass from me. It's never been done on this scale. They'll be known as the first in terms of what's been done on this type of level, and they're going to recover for it. Can I
ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just drop the game. Let's talk about how they handled the cover up of the review of the console versions of the game.
Yeah, you know what? Whether you think so.
I could say broken game. I can pass on broken game all day long. I understand. Things happen. And that's why I just stand by. I feel like they kind of let their fame kind of basically make them make some decisions that didn't work out for them.
I think it was more magnified because of it, but I'm telling you, Centurion, this has been going on forever. As far as people covering up their messes, they'll hold reviews, they'll hold,
I guess the one argument can be made, which is where I heard one YouTuber come out and say that technically the games of Anthem and Fallout 76 were completely worse than Cyberpunk 2077. But because of the fact that they had betas and they were completely transparent on the issues that were going to occur in those games, they basically feel like Cyberpunk 2077 is in a much different negative position because
it is.
They even said the leaks came out from the developers that they didn't agree with the executives holding back console reviews until after the game's street date.
Yeah, I've seen it with Assassin's Creed Unity. The same thing happened, that debacle. I remember it vividly, actually. I would say it's more magnified because this game has been so hyped and just everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted to play
Oh, I
it.
think they're the whipping post, honestly,
Oh yeah,
because of Anthem, Fallout 76, other games like that. I really do feel that we've got a situation where, let's just be upfront. We're about to hit the 1 year mark here in the next few months on basically this pandemic, at least here in the States. There is some people out there that have actually literally been cooped up in their home for almost a year now. And I mean, there is definitely some frustrations out there. And I really feel like CD Projekt Red is being treated extremely harshly just because of just how frustrated people are getting with the situation and just the situation of some of these games that have come out this generation that have, I guess that people held CD Projekt Red in such a very high standard that when this game came out in the condition that it did, people lost their minds.
Yep.
I've never seen it in this way though, where
I've never seen a game delisted. Yeah, I know.
I've seen people hide like reviews and like reviews come out after the release, but I've never seen them let the reviews of the smallest base who have actually one of the smaller bases that they're gonna collect profit from come out at like 90s, and we're gonna hide like the biggest base being like PlayStation 4, and we're gonna hide that and make everybody think the game's perfect because it's playing well on PC, but then it's going to be a complete dumpster fire and it is on the base. Like,
well, even on PC, if you reviewed the game, you had to use a PC copy.
If you're not using an SSD,
and you had to use they gave you pre-rendered footage, if I'm right.
If you're using a hard drive disk, it's the textures don't load in. I have an i7 1070 GTX, and I have a hard drive instead of a SSD, and I was like, well, the game looks better, but the textures don't load in, so it looks better than my Series X in some areas because it has the PC. It's not held back by waiting on the next gen patch yet, but the textures don't load in, so it's like unplayable.
I wonder if that would be fixed if like people went out and actually bought like a cheap SSD and put the game on it and hooked it up to their like OG Xbox One.
You see that on the regular, and it's not like the old Gears one where it take like a couple seconds. Like sometimes they just don't come in. I'm like, did anybody? And this is at the beginning of the game. I'm not very far, just in that first like gun chase in the car. I'm like,
I've only had one glitch. I've only had one glitch in my time playing it, and that's on the Series X. And it was I couldn't tag enemies in the tutorial where they teach you to tag enemies. I actually had to reload my game into the previous tutorial mission and actually redo that mission and reload back into the stealth mission, and then I was allowed to start tagging enemies. That's the only glitch that I've ran into.
Now, I mean, obviously, Jeremy's really enjoying the game. Shockley, obviously, you're pretty early on, but so far, are you enjoying it?
Yeah, the game's pretty cool. Like, I'm definitely going to keep playing it. I know some people are going to wait, but the game looks really good on the system. So, like, it doesn't look bad at all. So, it's going to look phenomenal once they ever, put in that patch. I stuck with the Series X because I was like, well, I can't stick with the PC version because the textures don't load, and I'm not about to go get an SSD right this second for my PC, so it's like, that's unplayable.
Right. All right.
So I bought a PC that has the built-in SSD already in it. And Shockley's right. I mean, it don't load up because I played on the OG Xbox.
Unfortunately, GOG's not giving me any refund. They just keep sending me emails. Oh, you want confirm if you want store credit? I'm like, no, I don't want store credit. You have a 30-day return policy. That's why I bought it to test it out. But I was like, well, shit.
You're trying to return what? You're trying to get a credit for what?
I bought it on GOG instead of Steam. If you buy games on GOG, there's no DRM, so you can just install the game.
Okay.
But I think people are having trouble getting their refund through Steam too, whereas like Xbox and PlayStation are now doing just full refunds, which is weird. Usually it's the other way around.
Now, one thing I've actually kind of thought in my head because of Xbox and PlayStation, when this first started coming out with this whole refund policy, we were actually seeing a major difference. I'm sorry, you guys can go look into it. I'm talking to people that want to think that I'm crazy. The difference in the policies, the return policies between PlayStation and Xbox were so big that Xbox consumers were having an easier time getting refunds than on PlayStation because of just how airtight the return policy is on PlayStation, which is why I think PlayStation just basically kind of did the blanket thing of pulling it down and issuing refunds across the board.
They took it away because they had to make a special policy for it, because they don't do refunds. If you downloaded a game, even if you never played it, you don't get refunds unless it's some faulty product.
I'm curious now, in the long run, is because of this situation, are we now going to have companies like, we'll just use Xbox and PlayStation, especially PlayStation, actually putting in clauses or fine print now to deal with situations like this?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Everybody protects their...
This is honestly the first time I've ever seen like a mass refund campaign for a digital game.
Even in Best Buy, they're refunding physical open copies.
Yeah, it's
It probably got GameStop knocking on the door. Hey, do you guys need those?
It'll be curious to see these returns too. I'm not sold on, I'm not sold on just the masses just coming in to return this game, because it's still a great game. So I think people are holding on to it until maybe it gets patched up a little better. But even the hot patches did wonders for it. I mean, it didn't take care of obviously all the problems, but there's been, I think, a total of was it 3, 4? 4, I think 4 or 5 hot patches that came out. That it'd just be curious to see exactly who's returning this game. And I don't think it's as much as people think, to be honest.
Well, I wish I could say that, Jeremy, but I mean, I've just had regular guys that I bumped into at the locker room at my work, and they're like, yeah, I bought Cyberpunk day one, and I opened the packaging, but like after all the stuff that they're hearing, I literally had a guy tell me this past weekend that he's returning it until they work out all the problems. Like, people are literally fearful of playing this game right now in the state that it's in.
Yeah, if you don't have an SSD, don't play it. Like mine's, again, the PC version, and it has a high, but it's a hard drive, as fast as it could be. But I'm like, I can't play this, and it's not some old 2013. This is a newer PC from just a couple of years ago. Who knows what the OG VCR, OG Xbox, the speed of that hard drive, I don't know.
See,
but
let's take what
having no textures is just not playable.
Let's take what Shockley's talking about, like as a glass half full situation, on how, everybody's over here always kind of beating the drum of, graphics. We want these like eye melting graphics. And now we're actually seeing the benefits of actually starting to bring console gaming into the PC realm and using technology like these NVMe SSDs, because of the fact that games are now becoming so complex that if we don't start dealing with the data exchange rates between the hard drive and the other components in the system, you're going to run into a lot of situations like Cyberpunk.
And I totally agree. Totally agree with that, because again, I do think that Cyberpunk is still way ahead of its time, even to this day. I mean, you see high-end PCs, and it pushes these computers, these monsters, to the limit. That's how massive this game is. So you can imagine some of these base consoles, trying to keep up.
Mm-hmm. Now, I can just imagine the phone call that Microsoft had with CD Projekt Red. I mean, they have the marketing rights to this game. I would imagine that they would be pretty disappointed with the situation brewing right now. This isn't too good.
I feel like that's part of the reason why Sony came out first and started issuing refunds and taking it down after this is the product that we don't want this product on our thing. And I think they're going to try to ride that wave that this is an Xbox marketed product, even though it's technically third party.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I am glad I kept the Gears 5 special edition and not the Cyberpunk for the Xbox One X now.
Oh, dude, you know what? I have to agree. I kind of kicked myself in the, oh man, I bought this Gears 5 one. I'd rather have the Cyberpunk. I'm like, damn, I kind of scored on that.
Yeah, well, I remember some people were saying, oh yeah, it's back in stock on Amazon, and at first I was like, oh sweet, because it's a pretty cool collector's edition, but then I'm like, you know what, I'll hard pass right now, hard pass. But yeah, again, a lot of mixed reactions going on with this game. At the same time though, guys, like, I think it will turn out to be a very good game once we get all the patches through. It's a shame that we are seeing this. It's probably one of the most anticipated games of the generation, unfortunately. CD Projekt Red's stocks have also dropped massively too, dude, because of this.
I didn't even want to bring that up.
22%, a loss of, I think I'm quoting this right, 1.8 billion. Which, I mean,
yeah,
that's
they wanted that Christmas money.
Yeah,
what did it cost them? Everything.
So they were selling. They were selling at the height of the the fame. They were selling around $30 a share. And last time I checked, they were selling around $16 to $18 a share, which means that yes, they bombed about 1/3 of the company's value.
Oof. That's
and they could have just released in like spring and had everything ready to go.
And I think that's why investors are freaking out.
Yeah, because you're not fixing those Metacritic reviews that they hold so dearly. So for PlayStation and all that, they're gonna stay red.
So I'm curious on. I remember when they came out and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna stand behind our developers and we're gonna make sure they get their bonuses." And then all of a sudden you see the losses and you're like, well, how do you issue bonuses on something like that?
They still have a lot of.
I'm just saying
they're still in good shape.
Oh, I know they're still in good shape. I'm just still saying that's just like like you're handing out bonus checks at the office, and meanwhile the headline reads, you lost X amount of dollars.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. But I mean, guys, if they continue to tank here, I mean, they were pretty valuable before all this.
I like what he's saying in the chat. Keedron Hardy, invest now. Actually, that for real. Could you imagine if you invested in them right now and all of a sudden they brought it right back up to $30 a share pretty quickly?
Well, they're gonna bring it back up. I mean, the next Witcher game is scheduled to release in what, like 4 years, 3 years. There's no doubt.
Just that next gen patch.
Yeah.
That things like, and it's all good, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's fully fixed now." Even the people that say they hate it or hate I don't know, CD Projekt Red, they're still gonna come around. If they deliver.
Yeah. So right now the current plan is they're going to take the rest of the year off, which is obviously, and then they're going to come out with a large patch in January, large patch in February to fix the majority and I mean, it's going to be a constant thing. Again, just the sheer size of the game is just massive. So it's going to be an ongoing thing. We'll probably see the enhanced version on the new next-gen consoles probably about March or April. I'm guessing maybe even May when everything gets situated. Probably May now, I'm guessing. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an ongoing thing. Again, January, they're going to start working on it heavily in January. And then on to February where they already announced that there's going to be two large patches coming out, massive patches.
Mm-hmm. And there's also something that came out today about, well, investors being really upset with CD Projekt Red. They're considering lawsuits lawsuits after being possibly misled about the state of the game at launch. You know, some pretty serious claims here, according to certain sources. But again, I like to be hopeful about things, but man, like CD Projekt Red is just getting dogged right now with all these different things relating to the game. I mean, it should have been delayed, guys. Like, who was it that said, like, wasn't it like Miyamoto from Nintendo that, you know, it's better to delay a game than to release it unfinished? Something along those lines?
Yeah.
Something
I think
about a bad game lasts forever when a delayed game can be fixed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some truth to that for sure, but I think it was a situation where CD Projekt Red was in a catch-22. They were receiving a lot of pressure from its investors at the same time, and I just think, you know, it was one of those things where people were gonna, if they delayed it again, it would have been you guys knew how that was gonna go, you know, after delaying it 3 or 4 times.
Well, we're always talking delay. How about let's
Mhm.
pop the real question if I can. Should they have just regretfully canceled the last gen console version?
Yeah, and I was thinking
I'm
about
gonna
that.
think I will say it right now. They overreached with their ambitions of Cyberpunk, and I think that they thought maybe technology would be further ahead than it is now, and not realizing that they should have waited till next gen period to release the game. And
Yeah,
I mean,
100%,
Well,
100% on that.
where they gonna make the money? What's up, everybody? If they don't release it on current gen consoles,
Oh,
no,
right? They
that's
made
where
that
they should have.
promise.
No, they
right?
should have canceled the last gen version of it a long time ago, because this game's been in development for what, 8 years?
It's too late
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And like everybody knows, Megatron has been so excited for this game. Again, welcome, Megatron. Thanks for coming in. Mega, you've been looking forward to this game like ever since I've known you.
There's 2 big games that were coming out for 2020. It was Halo Master Chief Collection. I mean, not collection. Infinite, that, you know, was canceled. It, which was they delayed it, which was the best way to do things. And you had Cyberpunk 2077. And look what you got, you know. And I think, Jeremy, you were just saying that they shouldn't have delayed it, or if they would have, it would have been the best move, right? You got lawsuits, people.
No,
all
I
over-
didn't say they
Oh, I'm
should.
sorry.
Yeah, I said that they were in a catch-22 position. They probably received a lot of
They were
pressure.
Microsoft's plan B.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Infinite got
absolutely.
delayed.
Yep.
I don't
So
know.
I think it was just one of those deals.
I'm upset, but I'm hopeful that they're going to fix the game and
Okay,
patch
let
it.
me ask you a question. Why would you be upset? You have a Series X, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the game is an excellent game. So why would you be upset?
And I haven't played it. And I have not played the game.
And you have not
because
played it.
Because I've decided to just wait, because I don't like the bugs. Let me tell you something. I got caught up in, you know, when I get into a
I've had
game,
zero issues though.
yeah, I like getting the collector's edition. I like really just surrounding myself and hyping the game up. I'm that type of guy. When I'm into it, I'm all in. You know, whether it's Gears, whether it's, you know, Fallout 76. And that's what stopped it for me, was what my experience was with Fallout 76. And then the alarm started going off with they wouldn't release to certain individuals when it came to reviewing the game. You couldn't use your own footage. And then they release their console version. Didn't they show footage of the Xbox One and
Yeah,
PS4?
small part, yeah.
And it looked fine right there. And then how misleading is that when you finally get the thing home? Like, it broke my heart again, just like Halo. Just like, don't release the game unless it's finished. I don't want any bugs. I don't want to be misled. I'm investing into this game. We were hyping the hell out of this. You know, TXR was doing. Everybody was doing it. It was everyone was doing. They capped the hell out of this game, and look what we got now: lawsuits and bugs. And I don't want to accept bugs. That's why I want to wait.
You know, but a game, again, Megatron, on a game this scale, you're gonna have bugs regardless.
Yeah, you're gonna
make the game this
we're
scale.
also dealing
that's
with
right.
putting.
That's what they do. Let them make the game as big as they want to make it, but don't push that on me and say that's the reason why. That's fair. Like, no, I get it.
We're also dealing with games for the first time ever that are going to have ray tracing in them and other
That's
stuff.
awesome. That's
so
awesome.
there's a little bit of new tech involved. So I do believe developers do deserve a little bit of flexibility, because we all know that the developer kits, they weren't able to play with them until June of this year. So I really do feel the developers on both PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever, they do deserve a little bit of flexibility when it comes to integrating new technology. Now the textures, and I do think that they did drop the ball. This game was originally supposed to come out on these original base model consoles, and I really do feel that CD Projekt Red really reached very far and made some decisions that regretfully are going to about bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
I think it's great that they
I
made
think
those
you'll be
decisions.
fine though on Series X. Though, if you're playing on Series X, you should be good. I don't think it looks great.
No,
Like, it doesn't look bad like some of these bad like Tixers. It looks really great. But you might have issues, but I've had zero so far.
Well, I
don't give them a pass on using technology. I get it. I want them to. I want them to give me something I've never experienced before. It's a new IP. You got one chance to make a first impression. You're trying to establish yourself as a company. CD Projekt Red's already got this great pedigree that Witcher. It's really what they have, Witcher, and that was buggy. But I feel like they lied, bro. Like I can't look at it any other way. And I'm disappointed. And I know they're going to fix the game eventually. I'm going to wait. I'm still supporting the game, but as of right now, I'm just kind of turned off by everything. All the things. And like I said, I haven't played the game, but I've had friends that played the game on both consoles, both PlayStation and Xbox, PS4, Xbox One, Series X, PS5, and it's the same thing. And I'm not going to, as a consumer, settle for it. I'm not going to do it.
So if I could at least tell one story real quick, because we all, when we talk about Fallout, what's the best Fallout game in this room? Like, if you guys all say
Part three.
Fallout New Vegas comes up in a lot of combos.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually a game-breaking bug that came out when that existed when that game first came out, and it actually occurred when you get shot in the beginning of the game. You wake up to that old man, basically, where you kind of tell him your name and get the whole game set up. The glitch was where this guy's head would literally pop off the character and start like doing this weird stretching thing around the room, and it would screw everything up. But because that is where you set your character up, you couldn't play the game. And this is during the 360 era, when the idea of patching games was actually new. Like the idea of hooking your console up to the internet and allowing a developer to kind of hot patch a game because there was a game breaking bug that actually occurred in the game was something new. But it's actually not talked about very often anymore. And Fallout 76 is actually, not 76, New Vegas is revered as one of the best Fallout games out there. But it still had a game-breaking bug that did affect its launch, and it is under the rug now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm pretty sure the dev team behind Fallout 76 is enjoying this right now. So.
Actually, if anything, 76, I think they were a little bit forthcoming when they came out on stage and told her there's going to be no NPCs. I'm sorry, it's not like they lied. With Anthem, I'm sorry. I'm thinking the Anthem guys are probably kind of chuckling because they came out with this beautiful E3 footage with the BioWare rep, and then when we got it was like, what happened?
Exactly. I do think who was the one that said that the games that were in beta get a little bit of pass when they came out with games like Sea of Thieves, Rainbow Six Siege, Battlefield 4. Again, that game was.
Jeremy, how the hell are you comparing Sea of Thieves to Cyberpunk?
I
heard you got me boiling behind the scenes. Like
I would have to agree.
You can
pretty damn good.
You can absolutely compare the two in terms of the way they're released. A lot of people felt cheated when Sea of Thieves came out. I can send you thousands. I'm exaggerating, obviously. I could send you hundreds of articles saying how Microsoft cheated us, how we got a beta version of the game. I can do it, the only difference is
the victim of what's going on with CD Projekt Red, of people convincing themselves that okay, well, the game's going to come out of beta. They obviously have to have more content. They're not just going to release Sea of Thieves like it is now, would they? And
No.
and I remember they were like, there was even all these articles about how like there was all this content that people have not seen that was going to come out with the actual retail launch of Sea of Thieves, and that was not the case.
Yep. And you remember the Master Chief Collection when you couldn't even play the multiplayer for like an entire year.
Yeah, and that's why we can't just, sit here and crucify CD Projekt Red, because, again, a lot. No, well, hey, hear me out. Hear me out, Megatron.
They just sat there and said, "Hey, we just made all our money back."
Hear me out.
Okay, I'm sorry. It hurts me, bro. Like,
well, no, it just
going to be good.
I totally, I 100% agree with you. I'm just stating that there's been all kinds of other devs this gen, devs and publishers who have made very similar mistakes. And I hope that, again, like, I want this game to be good. I think that it will be very good, like, hopefully, again, with enough hot fixes and so on. I think that there's something there. But, I agree with you, too, that, it's unacceptable that the state this game is in, especially on last-gen consoles, what's the deal with that? But
let's ask about, would this have gone better, especially if Microsoft, because they had the marketing, what would have happened if this game kind of launched in a game preview program? Because like, I'm pretty sure there had to be some, reservement from the developers about the stability of the game on the older generation of consoles. And I feel like the game preview program would have helped this game, because they would have been able to release it in a very limited capacity and actually see how it would react on an older generation console.
Yeah. Like I said, they were getting a lot of pressure from investors, and I don't think that was the way to go. But who knows? I mean, maybe it could have been beneficial for this title. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, too, like, there's been other stuff going on recently, not just even because of Cyberpunk. A few days ago, too, GOG, they had to walk back a release of a horror game. It's called Devotion, because it included something that was very critical of the Chinese president. Had a little like picture of like Winnie the Pooh, I think, and some stuff written there, and they pulled the game. So there's been a lot of backlash because of that. Yeah,
people get killed in China, for that.
I'm laughing because I don't get it. The Winnie the Pooh and the Chinese president. So I'm trying to understand what happened. I didn't see
at least
because if you look at his face, he looks like Winnie the Pooh.
And as a result, I guess the Chinese president has issues with all the caricatures that were from the creator of Winnie the Pooh. I guess, at least with the article I read, I guess it has to do with, I guess when you're around him, you don't pull out pictures of Winnie the Pooh.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a joke for you here. I'm looking at the Secret Lab Cyberpunk chair, and people in the comments are like, "Chair probably comes half complete." Chair probably costs more than the game.
Well, again, guys, this is pretty bad for the image of the studio. Like, it's not going down very well.
It is bad, but there's, again, you have on the other side of the coin, you have people saying it's one of the best games ever made. I'm one of those people. I'm on that side of the fence, and yes, I've been playing on a high-end PC and an Xbox Series X, but I've also seen the disaster and mud that is the OG Xbox version running at 480p. And it looks like garbage, but
are you sure it wasn't 480i? Are you sure it was pixels, or were they interlaced?
Was it integrated or progressed?
Oh my! But how about what do you think? There's going to be a lot of delays because of the situation from other game developers that are going to get kind of freaked out?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, just again, the game is just so massive. I can't put it
I
It
get you.
is. It's just so
Talking to
it's
you on the
crazy.
phone, Jeremy, like I get encouraged despite everything. I spoke to 108 Dragons. I spoke to you on the phone, and I what you're telling me is what I want to hear because, like I said before,
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to play the game. I just don't want to
Yeah.
deal with the bugs, man, and I'm kind of just
Well,
discouraged.
in these open world games, Megatron, games like Skyrim, I mean, I'm sorry, the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout, all these massive open world games where there's so many physics involved, so
Mhm.
much going on, you're gonna have these bugs
I
regardless.
I've seen some
understand.
classics come out of Rockstar,
Yeah.
out of freaking
Oh
Grand Theft
yeah.
Auto 5, dude. The
Oh
best
yeah.
one was where the oh my god, the scummy looking character out of the three of them was talking to the dude, and like for some reason some NPC off the street kept boxing this dude and punching him down to the ground in the middle of the conversation, and it was like the NPC was not even doing it. It was the conversation was being held as if it was totally normal. It was funny as hell to
Yeah.
watch.
But I could say to people who haven't played the game yet that what's there, even in its most basic form, is more than what 98% of the games offer in today's market. There is so much. I mean, as far as just the stuff that you can do, the stuff that you can see, just the RPG elements, the conversations that you have with the characters in the game world, everything that works absolutely mind blowing. It's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. And you can see, 108 Dragons could tell you the same thing, Megatron. I mean, I've seen some of his posts, and he's having a blast with the game. He can't put it down,
Who's
and
this?
I'm one of those people.
Who you referring to?
Dragons.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, again, like, I have seen all kinds of people like Jeremy who are very satisfied with the game that haven't experienced a lot of the bugs. And then, again, like, there's been some people in the chat talking about it. And, of course, like, we've seen all over, again, social media blowing things up about the state of the game, too. Again, guys, I'm not a big fan of that. I'll definitely call them out on the state of the game as it is. It's definitely unacceptable, and in my opinion, it should have been delayed a little further and address some things like the gameplay. But again, guys, we'll have to wait and see for that.
The game is an absolute diamond in the rough, just like The Witcher 3.
Agreed.
Right. But definitely let us know your comments, your thoughts in the chat. Let us know how you guys are doing with the game so far if you've purchased it. I think on that note, guys, we will move on to some other news. But yeah, again, I'm really looking forward to playing Cyberpunk. It's just, a shame of, what's going on. But of course, guys, last week we had the Game Awards. And besides the awards, there were a lot of surprising Xbox announcements. The biggest being Xbox Studio The Initiative revealing their first game, that being Perfect Dark. Now, the rumors turned out to be true, guys. Hey, we got Perfect Dark. Joanna Dark is back in action. And I'm really curious what the panel members' thoughts are on this one. I'll leave it open to anybody who wants to chime in first on this. What did you guys think of the Perfect Dark reveal?
We heard some details, I believe, obviously on the internet about Perfect Dark. And they were talking about how it's going to be episodic, and I don't know if that's true or not. Invader, have you heard that?
I have heard about that, but I mean, that was just more about rumors. We haven't heard anything official.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's going to be a your standard complete title.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it was a good showing for Xbox. I do think, the Perfect Dark stuff didn't catch me. I wasn't like, whoa, they're coming out with. We already knew this game was in development for like 2 years already. But, again, I think it was one of those situations where we did not get next gen gameplay on these systems, which was kind of disappointing. I mean, yeah, we had games like Flight Simulator, which has been shown on PC already. Warhammer, the 40K looks pretty cool. They showed Dark Tide, which,
Yeah.
that's going to be a good game. Arc 2, the announcement. I mean, yeah, it was just a video, but I think that being exclusive to Xbox, at least at the moment, is a good thing because Arc was huge both on PC and Xbox. Overall, it was a good night. I don't think it was a great night. I think it was a good night, overshadowed by, The Last of Us 2 that dominated the awards.
Mm.
The Sony pretty much cleaned house on everything as expected, but I think, next coming years, especially 2 years down the line, you're going to see Xbox at the forefront of some of these awards for sure, taking the throne away from Sony.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of dominated by The Last of Us. However, I mean, for the Player's Choice Award, Ghost of Tsushima won handily for that one, so it was nice to see Ghost do well.
Man, they wanted to toss a bone to the real gaming fans.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry.
I don't know how Ori didn't win Best Art Direction.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Right.
but at this point, regretfully, it's a subject for another day. But I'm not saying that The Last of Us 2 is not a decent game, but it won awards it had no business winning, and it just goes to show. It was more
Like what? Like what?
They were talking. The one that they were talking, best like narrative. They were wanting to argue the narrative-driven side of it because there was some much more narratively driven stories that came out. They feel like
yeah. I mean, I would disagree, but I think overall, Last of Us 2 is
no. They said that no.
Yeah.
They said like if you want to look at The Last of Us 2, it's
Mhm.
definitely in the top 5 of games to play in 2020, but it is not number 1. That was the main argument I heard from at least the sources I read and listen to, is everybody felt that The Last of Us 2 needed to be obviously a mention, but they felt like there was a number of games. They just felt like kind of like The Last of Us 2 was like shoehorned into a lot of categories. But like I said, it's another combo. The whole thing with Xbox and Perfect Dark. Oh my God. Honestly, I feel like when Perfect Dark came out, it wasn't a really massive game. Everybody knows it's like a cult classic. But I feel that like now the society now, that Perfect Dark is more of a fit for society now, because when Perfect Dark first came out, we didn't have like all this integration with like, cameras and technology and all this other stuff. And now I just like how they're totally tapping into kind of like aspects of actually that happened today. I mean, I felt really intrigued when I heard the gentleman from the initiative describing kind of like how they're taking stuff from the world of today and putting these stories into Perfect Dark. And I honestly feel like Perfect Dark is more of a fit for society now. And I know like people are like, oh, that's not an original idea. They're reaching back using an old IP. I feel like it's an untapped IP that is going to now really shine because it has more relevance in today's world.
Yeah, I do agree that it's really untapped, and the Perfect Dark world, Joanna Dark as a character has never been fully fleshed out, not even by a long shot. Whether it was technology strains, you've seen the Xbox 360 version do a little bit of that. It kind of touched on it, but wasn't fully fleshed out. And I think now with the technology, like you said, it's going to really,
We're also seeing it in the entertainment industry for the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I've read right, we are potentially going to see a Bond character. I'm not going to say James Bond, but a female Bond character.
Well,
she doesn't play Bond, I don't think. She just plays. It's just in that universe, I think.
It's like in that universe. That's why I'm just saying. But it's the first time we're seeing a lead female role in that universe. And I really do. And that's why I've always said that Perfect Dark is a very untapped IP, because, we're like when we're talking entertainment, when we talk about spies and espionage, James Bond, Ethan Hunt, you'd really have to sit there and kind of like mow over your head of, who's a good female lead role? And the only one that really comes to mind is a Marvel character. So it's really interesting to see that they're actually pushing this.
Well, even in the Bond movies, there's always been some kind of other female.
No, but
like
there's always been that
agent.
the female agent, but they've always been like that love interest for James Bond, or like, you know, like always it's like the spotlight is on James Bond. It's really nice to see that, you know, like that the entertainment industry is wanting to do things that are, I don't want to say outside of the box, but more like pushing the industry forward.
Well, I don't know. Like I mean, I definitely wanted to see Joanna Dark come back. Like I'm more intrigued personally by like the gameplay aspects and how they're going to use the world. Like they talk about again the ecological aspects of it, how the world has kind of changed. You had alluded to that, Centurion, and also the fact that even just how they presented it, to the way that the camera was panning. Again, as a CGI trailer, but it just there was all kinds of like. Right at the end there was like this huge circular cloud forming around the pyramids. And it just, I'm just really curious what's going on with the corporations. Are they able to control the weather? How is that going to impact gameplay? Are we going to have all kinds of stealth gear?
If they are going to keep true to the world of Perfect Dark, there's aliens. You got to remember, the first game was built off of you having a sidekick called Elvis, who was an alien. So, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, you got to remember, like, they can literally go down that path. This isn't some true, futuristic stuff like in Cyberpunk, where this is just going to be like, where technology and corporations get us. There is potential for this game to go truly sci-fi.
Well, was Elvis on the N64 version, or was that 360?
No, he was on the N64 version.
So, did you play the 360 version, Centurion?
Oh God, yes! I played that game. I remember sitting down playing that game's multiplayer was almost as much fun as GoldenEye. I played Perfect Dark. I mean, it was definitely. That's why I say it's a cult classic. If you played GoldenEye and you got bored playing that game and you still wanted to, scratch that itch, go get Perfect Dark.
Well, the game mechanics were horrible. I remember that. It was.
Oh, dude, I have it on Rare Replay. I played it on Rare Replay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The level design, they literally put arrows on the ground to tell you where to go.
Yeah.
I didn't really enjoy Perfect Dark on the 360 that much, but you know what? I saw at the trailer at the Video Game Awards, and I just got hyped for it. So, and that was it. That's where it began to stop for me.
I have a hard time getting hyped over trailers, over video.
Mm-hmm.
I like game. I'm a gameplay guy, even though it doesn't necessarily represent the true game, as you can see with Cyberpunk now. But
yeah, true. But at least we get finally an official announcement.
More of a reveal.
We always had reveal.
Yeah, it's a reveal.
We always finally, we always had heard the rumors or who was making the game, but at least they finally came out and just said, hey, they showed us a trailer. I get hyped for it. I'm old school, and I guess I kind of stayed that way. And so, yeah, I'm hyped for it. I just like the 360. I remember the bugs crawling around on the wall and you're trying to do whatever, get these doors open. And it was okay, but I never really got into it. So
I'm definitely excited for the talent behind it. Like you have Gallagher, who made me actually finally want to play a Tomb Raider game. So he did that series, a great, service. And then you also have some of the Insomniac guys. I forget the main guy's name that we keep seeing. He was the first guy that came on that trailer. He was from Insomniac. So he's, been through, I think, Resistance and pretty much most of their games. And there's a lot of Santa Monica, like Sony Santa Monica. There's some people that have poached from there. So definitely excited to see where they take it. So.
Yeah, I would say that the game world of Perfect Dark and Joanna Dark's character is completely untapped still. I'm going to be anxious to see exactly and curious to see how everything's fleshed out.
Yeah, just I don't know if anybody else knows, but she kind of reminds me of what's her face from Control. Like as soon as I saw her like from the back, the way that she was kind of dressed and just the color of her hair, I'm like, oh my god, that's the chick from Control, Jessie or whatever her name is.
Well, for the record, I do not like the Control character at all. Yeah.
I'm kind of mixed on her, but the game's all right. But again,
you could tell people in the 360 days were watching Alias when they made the character model on the front cover of a 360 version.
Oh,
It was like, yeah, she looks like Jennifer Garner on the front cover when she wears the like red wigs in the Alias show.
So I'll be truthful. I never played the 360 Perfect Dark. It's actually one of the reasons why I bought Rare Replay, and it's in my backlog.
I thought you said you did. Oh, you.
No, you said 64.
He said he played the
You said
multiplayer.
64.
No, I
You
said
said you played
360.
360.
No, I
Oh,
asked him that he played on the 64.
Oh,
I'm
he
so sorry. I
played
got
the
confused.
Perfect Dark multiplayer on 360. That's where it got twisted.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I thought we were talking Nintendo. Nope, never played it on the 64. My bad.
Oh, you said you played multiplayer on the 360. That's what got us kind of.
No,
I think-
I played multiplayer on the 64.
Centurion's
religiously.
going CD Project Red on us, everyone. He's lying.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
like,
your
that's why I
your
wanted-
chips
Well, you know, I
malfunctioned.
chipped in. I was like, wait a minute. I think I misunderstood.
Fraud
something
alert.
here. I was frauding. I'm sorry. I'm over here trimming the bushes. Definitely. I have only played Perfect Dark on the Nintendo 64. I missed the 360 version, but I have it in my backlog on Rare Replay on my Xbox One, now my Series
You
X.
didn't miss it. You
I didn't. I actually want to play
Yeah.
it just for the single player.
The multiplayer
no.
was.
The 64 version was like crack to me as a kid.
It was good. The 64 version was good. I never finished it, but I agree with you. It was good. So, I played the campaign. I never played the multiplayer though.
The multiplayer, that was before you had like that's what I was saying, GoldenEye. That was before you kind of played online. You actually had to invite friends over, and you know, you're all sitting on this itty bitty ass little TV, and you all got your individual little square, and you're all yelling at everybody to not watch their square. Good times.
Oh yeah, a lot of good times. That's for sure. Getting like ganged up on like what was it, that Aztec level, and like everybody's just on me. I'm like, oh, thanks guys, thanks for ganging up on me, because they knew I was good. But okay, now
One thing that made the multiplayer fun on I don't know if you could do this on GoldenEye, but one thing that made it fun on Perfect Dark on the 64 is you could go in and create bots. And you could like change these bots and like arm them to the teeth and jack up the difficulty and aggressiveness on them, or you can make them totally mellow. I mean, it was really fun, and I mean, like you could go through and just create these asinine matches with all these pre-programmed bots.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, guys, I'm excited to see how things unfold with the new Perfect Dark. Again, there's a lot of untapped potential there. How long do you think it is until how far off do you think we are from this game, guys?
Let them take
say-
their time. Less bugs. I don't want any bugs.
2022 is my guess.
Spring of next year.
No
I mean,
whammy.
There's no
spring of
way.
22. Spring of
No,
22.
not spring.
Oh,
You know
no,
what?
I was saying spring of 22.
okay, that's more reasonable.
I'll say,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? I'll even say it's a 22 game as well. It's probably about 2 years off. So, no, I'm looking forward to it, guys. I mean, hopefully that's not the only game that they're working on. I have a feeling that they're going to be like a two-team studio as well. I'm really looking forward to what they have in store, and I hope that Microsoft continues to, again, reboot some of their older IP, because they have a nice chest of IP, not just Joanna Dark, but they got all kinds of old Rare IP that they can utilize. Come on, Conquer. But yeah, guys, there were some other announcements too. Obviously, Jeremy, you had talked about Ark 2. I'll admit I didn't play Ark at all. I know Tim was very high on the game. I'm not sure if anybody else on the panel had played it, but Ark 2 is apparently an Xbox exclusive, and that's pretty
I
exciting.
enjoy Ark for what it is and what it was able to accomplish. I could not get into it because of just this. It's too massive. I mean, it really is. You have to spend your life playing the game to get ahead in it, really. I mean, there's people that just wake up and play Ark and build bases and just you have to spend a significant time in the world to.
Yeah, wasn't it like a manage heavy type of game? You had to constantly maintain that world. If not,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
So
So
you
it's just
can
like,
go like raid your settlements and destroy all your
Yeah.
progress or something.
yep.
We could have had a new Riddick game, but we got Arc 2.
But let's talk
Imagine
about
like a Riddick game with the budget of like a Cyberpunk. Like that'd be cool.
complete remaster, right?
You know
Like
what?
you get to see his world.
a
Yeah,
remake,
that'd be-
a remake. You know,
I don't like movie personalities inside my games. I don't know why, but I don't like them. But Riddick was
then you might
the
as well quit talking about God of War.
Cyberpunk.
no. Come on, no. God of War is a little bit different. Okay?
No,
I
we're
don't-
gonna
I don't
no.
include that.
Christopher Judge, Teal.
Nobody knows who fucking Christopher Judge is. I'm sorry, but
Hey, you be nice to Teal,
Actually,
all right?
dude, like I mean, you mentioned Christopher Judge's name at a Comic-Con or a sci-fi convention, you'll get some people that'll raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, Stargate fans, man. Stargate.
Well, like I'm just saying, like he's also appeared on other stuff, but that's why I'm just saying, like regretfully, you want to be truthful. Do you really see Vin Diesel in very much anymore? Like, I'm sorry,
he's all over the place. What are you talking about? He's all over the place,
Oh, and he
dude.
was in the
Fast and
Bloodshot
Furious.
movie.
Outside of
Come
Fast
on.
and Furious. Don't count
Bloodshot.
Fast and
He was
Furious.
just in Bloodshot the year before.
Bloodshot, which is actually not exactly critically acclaimed.
It was a decent movie. I have that movie actually.
Well, what I'm just getting at is like, these actors are obviously wanting to outsource their talents, and also with how restrictive things are in the entertainment industry with social distancing, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Diversify.
What?
Diversify. I mean, you gotta
There's a-
spread out a little bit.
Dude, definitely. Like, how about this, man? Like, we'll just use Christopher Judge again. If you watch the documentary on God of War, Christopher Judge actually talks about how he was just tired. He actually didn't want nothing to do with actual on-screen acting because he was just over it. And doing the character of Kratos and doing the voice acting kind of reinvigorated him as an actor, and like kind of changed his focus and direction on not wanting to be as much of a screen actor, but actually wanting to be more of a voiceover actor. And there's now starting to be rumors going around that he's actually going to voice the Black Panther for the Avengers game.
Yeah, they did the voice work for Kratos, and they made him exactly like Master Chief, just bland, and it worked out. It worked out for the game. It worked out for his character, and it ended up being a hit.
And that's where Christopher Judge, if you really watch Stargate, he wasn't this chatty character that just went around and just spewed like narrative driven, stuff. He was this silent, stoic figure in the background. And when he would speak to people, it was like short and to the point. And that's why I chuckled every time in the game when he was like, boy, because he actually had a son in Stargate, and he would refer to his son in Stargate in pretty much the same manner. I mean, it was funny.
Since we're on the movie and TV train, has anybody seen the new Mandalorian, the last episode?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Unbelievable. I'm impressed. I was definitely
Yeah.
I got into it late. The last 3 episodes, by the way, to me were awesome. So, but yeah, if you guys, I don't want to, no spoilers,
Don't spoil.
but
I need
you guys
to find
need
time to
to
watch
go
this
check
stuff.
that out.
Yeah,
Microsoft's
actually,
got Disney Plus. They're doing that thing where it's 30 days if you have Xbox Live.
You
or
want to
Ultimate
know
for
how
free.
you want to know how in the bushes I am, Megatron? I'm with Verizon. I get Disney Plus free of charge. I've had it for almost a year now and never turned it on once.
Oh, my
Between
goodness.
working, playing games, YouTube, all that other fun stuff, I'm just like, when do I get to sit down and watch like a few hours of Star Wars? And I'm not talking a few hours. I'm talking like 5 or 6 hours.
I hear you. Hey, I never seen Game of Thrones, and I missed out on a
Oh,
lot.
dude. I know.
Also,
I own
I
the
feel
first
you.
3 seasons, and I've only watched the first season.
right.
It reinvigorated the Star Wars brand after 3. To me, in my opinion, I mean, I wanted George Lucas. I was crying for George Lucas to come back after those 3 latest Star Wars movies,
Oh,
but
don't get me started, man.
Yeah, but I
mean,
think
it wasn't
I
Clone
like-
Wars. But,
I like how all of a sudden when Disney gets a hold of the Star Wars franchise, the prequels become relevant.
Yeah, dude.
I love the prequels.
Solid. Rogue One was a gem.
I will say this:
Yeah.
I actually just watched.
No, I'm talking the George Lucas prequels. No, Rogue One was definitely a gem, but I'm talking George Lucas prequels. Everybody hated on them, and then all of a sudden this, and like they're like, oh yeah, they're really good.
Funny
No,
enough.
no.
Hey,
The second
hey,
one is trash.
Shock. I just went through the sorry, the prequel trilogy, and in hindsight, it's not that bad, honestly.
Yep, exactly,
dude.
Invader.
Something about Luke
The second one
Skywalker
is god awful.
squeezing
Hard
the
to
tea.
connect.
I don't know, man.
The first one's okay. Third one's good. Second one is
Like,
terrible.
because as Megatron pointed out, I just used my the Disney Plus claim that I got through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So I've been, let's just say I've been watching a lot of Disney stuff, trying to get in as much as I can, and I will be hitting up The Mandalorian. So hey, no spoilers, guys. Don't want to know. But yeah, you know, all this reinvigoration of Star Wars. It's nice to have this excitement back into the franchise after a few years of. Well,
I'm gonna blow it for you. Mace Windu kicked some serious butt in that movie.
Oh, I'm like, wait a minute.
oh,
man.
Mace.
You want to talk about a character that deserved some more plot development? That was Mace Windu.
Oh my God, I love Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Oh,
He's
dude,
like
no,
one-
Mace Windu as a character and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I love Samuel L. Jackson in general. That guy is like a living legend to me.
Get
But
into the whole nerd aspect of it,
Yeah.
where like if you understand why he holds a purple lightsaber, it's because a Jedi who holds a purple lightsaber has crossed over to the dark side and come back. They basically have a balance that they basically know how to use the dark side of the Force. That's why Mace Windu.
I don't think that's not
aggressive
canon
nature.
though. That's not canon.
That's not canon. No, but what it is that's why when you see Mace Windu fight and the way he would conduct himself, it was because he actually fought with emotion, which is actually something a Sith Lord does.
His character was so badass, and Samuel L. Jackson in general, he's a badass. I like him.
I was lied to. I was told that his great grandfather drove a purple caddy, and that's why. And that's why his.
What he said
saber
it was he liked it because it was his favorite color. That's the reason why he picked it. It was his favorite color.
Yeah, I saw the behind the scenes. Yeah,
I guess I don't watch that part, but when they get into like the canon of the lightsaber colors, I guess maybe I don't know, but I have literally hung out with guys that literally live on Wikipedia, which is like the giant Star Wars like encyclopedia, and I guess like Mace Windu's character in the Star Wars lore is actually a very powerful and interesting individual when you get into the character. And that's why I really feel like there should have been more plot development on the Mace Windu character.
Well, he's second to Yoda in terms of power. He's even more powerful than Palpatine. He kicked his ass. But yeah.
How do we get off from Perfect Dark? What the heck?
Well, hey man, you get sidetracked, right? There's a lot of excitement.
One last thing was I didn't like how they did Luke Skywalker and him drinking that whatever milk out of that monster that whole animal grossed me the hell out. But I think they should have did a better job with the Luke Skywalker.
Oh, of course, man. I remember playing all the Star Wars games and reading some of the books. Like when you would talk about Luke Skywalker, we're talking about the guy that's going to rebuild the Jedi Order. I mean, the myth, the legend, Luke Skywalker. And then all of a sudden we get to Disney's version of Luke Skywalker and you're just like, whoa, this is not what I thought we were going to get.
Right.
I think it's unfortunate that they did not keep the original vision of George Lucas. In the last, I mean, he had the scripts ready, and he handed them to Disney. However, they didn't use them. So
that's the funny part. A lot of people don't know is that actually he wrote all 9 movies. He just started with the middle ones because they were more relevant at the time. And he basically, did it, this was actually how he wanted. And that he wrote all 9. That's why I was completely shocked when it went the way it did.
Right. Right.
I don't think his issue was the like what he wrote. I think that was, pretty solid, but his execution. So if someone could execute his work better, but that's not what happened.
You know what, guys? I'm just gonna head back to just some of the VGA announcements before we get into another topic. But Flight Simulator, though, coming to Xbox Series X, that's kind of cool, right? I know I was kind of looking forward to that. Anybody else interested?
I know I was. They didn't make any announcements of it coming to the older gen consoles, but heck yeah, man! I love a good simulator game, especially on this the one that the praise, all the praise that it's getting now. I can't wait to try it. So, but yeah, definitely. That's what August. What was the time?
Summer.
Summer, yeah.
So
yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good for it. Straight to Game Pass.
Yeah.
For the win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm gonna do my first game stream. I'm gonna load up here at Phoenix Sky Harbor, and I'm gonna fly over to Hawaii. See how long that takes. We're gonna do it in real life.
Nice.
Nice.
Actually,
nice.
that's gonna be a long. That would be a long flight, honestly. It'd be like watch. I know there's been guys doing that. Have you seen the people doing that with Flight Simulator, where they like mock up their whole room to look like a cockpit, and they actually do the actual flight, how long it would take?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Get that into it. Hey, go for it, man.
And wasn't
It's all about immersion, right?
Wasn't it Shockley that mentioned the 3D printed parts that you can actually bolt on your controller now to kind of simulate actually having flight sticks?
Yep. Yeah, some guy made it. Forget his YouTube channel, but you can easily find him.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff people are doing with Flight Simulator. Really
And
cool.
it's real time weather. So if
Hey, but
a lot of people
with-
are using those hurricanes, and we're
Yeah, but
flying
being quick,
hurricanes.
about it. What was everybody's impression? You think Xbox had a good showing, or was it a great showing? Or I just think it was a good showing. Nothing special, but I mean,
As
I just
far as
wish
the announcements, I think it was, I mean, it's from what I saw of it, I thought it was good. Admittedly, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. It was over 3 hours. I thought it was kind of long on the end, but I couldn't see it. I mean, my work schedule kind of prevented me from watching the whole show, I have to admit. But from what I can tell, the announcements, especially with Perfect Dark, I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
So
I feel their presence, I guess the best way to describe it was just right. I mean, I'm going to be upfront. I came home from work on the night of the VGAs, and I turned into 3 hours of event. Like, I'm watching plants grow, paint dry. I'm going to be upfront, everyone. I used my Xbox, logged into the YouTube app, and started fast forwarding as soon as I saw kind of some of the stuff that was being advertised, and just some, like, the awards weren't, I'm sorry, but when you're just basically pretty much rambling off awards I didn't like how they handed the awards out. I was just like, wow, this is what we're going to sit here and watch. So I stopped on the games that interested me, but I feel like Xbox's presence was just right for the situation and what was going on in that show in general.
Yeah, so the reason why it got done like that was because there was a survey out stating what the fans wanted to see from the Game Awards, how it was going to evolve. And one of the things that they said that dragged down the show was the actual awards. So I think that's the reason why they did it in the manner in which they did. And primarily focused on just the celebration of gaming, which he did. I mean, I liked the show. I just think that there wasn't enough bangers in there. There wasn't enough, surprises that people could sit back and say, "Hey, this show was memorable." Yeah, the DLC for the Super Smash Brothers was good. People want Sephiroth in that particular world. And there were some nice showings. However, I just think that there wasn't enough, there wasn't enough bangers on there. There was nothing to highlight.
I feel like, I don't want to say bangers, but I feel like there was no excitement whatsoever. It felt like there was no games to be excited for. It felt like even Jeff Keighley himself wasn't excited. I'm sorry, I just felt like there was like zero excitement coming out from the people on camera because it was.
Right.
I mean, it felt very, very just like, well, we have to do this because this is what we do, but this is the situation we're in, so this is what you get.
I like being surprised. So
Yeah.
Aaron Greenberg downplayed things, but when they started making these announcements, the only one I can really remember off the top of my head again was Perfect Dark. I was like, boom, for me.
But we knew it was coming out. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I guess not to be completely cheesy, I guess the highlight for me during that whole show, and I'm not trying to be cheesy, it was for me was watching that developer who's been working on the game for treating ADHD, people who have children who have ADHD, and the fact that he actually has a game that's going to be, I guess, medically cleared by the FDA to be used as a treatment for kids with ADHD. Purely because I have it and I grew up with it, and it's just really cool to see that they're starting to embrace on a whole nother level and using it to actually treat something that actually affects the mind in a way.
It's awesome.
No, that's cool. No, that's a great comment actually, Centurion. Overall, I went into the VGAs I didn't have any expectations, and I just feel like that's the right mindset to have with these kinds of things. And I was really happy with what Microsoft and Xbox were able to show. They gave us a Perfect Dark reveal. Again, maybe some people would have wanted something really new, but I mean, you might as well treat it like a new IP at this point. Arc 2, while, again, I'm not really too familiar with it, a lot of people did generally get excited about it. And then, Flight Sim, Warhammer 40k Darktide. Guys, if you like Vermintide, I know I do. I'm really excited for this. Plus, I'm a huge Warhammer 40,000 guy. I'm definitely getting that sucker. And,
Invader, I was a little disappointed in the fact that, yes, we have these new systems that came out, PS5 and Series X, and they really didn't highlight or showcase anything from that standpoint. It was a little disappointing.
Agreed. We got a question in the chat, guys. What are your guys' studio acquisition predictions in E3 2021 or by the end of 2021? I don't know. Any of you guys want to
CD Projekt Red.
I hear they're going quite cheap nowadays.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's only $1 billion cheaper, so that's not that much in terms.
Well, if they're for sale, with that talent, if they're for sale with that talent, you don't want to go to Google or Amazon. So I think relatively speaking, it sounds like a deal to me.
So
that's it.
I was just saying, Megatron. Remember what developer? I mean, what was it? I think it was Matt Booty or the guy with oh my God, what's the developer who did Psychonauts?
Oh, I can't remember the guy.
Tim Schafer.
Oh, Tim Schafer and Double Fine.
I remember watching him talk about Matt Booty and them making offers, and how Matt Booty would like text him images of like pancakes with like a number written in whipped cream. And I wonder if that happened after CD Projekt Red, like the dude got a text message and all of a sudden there's just like a random phone, like, hey, you want it now?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just going to say, like, honestly, anything is possible. I don't write Microsoft off with anything now since they bought ZeniMax and Bethesda. So, hey, why not?
All that's going on with CD Projekt Red, though. I mean, you figure if they had somebody with the backing them up like Microsoft, you kind of think the blow would be, somewhat, softer for them, and they're taking a lot of hits right now. You see what their stocks are doing.
They're taking a lot of hits because of just the media in general. Just Twitter and Facebook, and it's just the tale of the times. When Halo's not even released yet, and you see what Craig did to that. It's like this one of those things where that's the state and world we live in now. If you don't If you don't have if you're a big developer or a big anybody, and you screw up royally, you're gonna feel it the next day.
Mhm.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely rough. Like as
I
far
think
as
it's.
no, go ahead, Centurion.
I was just about to say. I wanted to comment on what you said earlier about wanting to really talk about acquisitions and Microsoft being a big player now. Let's use example. Everybody always talks about Microsoft, not being able to buy this guy or that guy and comparing checkbook to checkbook. What we saw, what come out of EA, basically, like a proper term we call gate crashing or gate blocking.
Yeah.
Basically preventing Take-Two from purchasing. Or am I getting it wrong? 2K from purchasing Take-Two. Basically, you know how it is. EA came in and basically threw more money down on the table, completely crashing whatever deal that they had. And that's where people need to realize Microsoft, like anytime an acquisition goes down, Microsoft has to definitely be, Microsoft's a big player, like you said.
Yeah, like I could.
So,
I
I mean, so you're saying Microsoft? Are you suggesting that? Like, I'm trying to read between the lines here. Are you saying that maybe
But basically,
Microsoft should have been buying
no,
Codemasters?
No, Mike, I'm just saying
Because
when
it kind of
you
makes
talk
you want to.
about being a big player, is Microsoft actually has a lot of money. So at any time with all these you could have a situation where PlayStation goes to purchase somebody or Sony goes to purchase somebody, and literally Microsoft comes in and throws more money down on the table because they can. And this is just a fine example of just how much reach Microsoft could have if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
right. Well,
I gotta take into account the relationship they have right now that they're building with EA Access. You kind of. I don't want to say too much into this, but you got to know that if Microsoft wanted to, they could have outbid EA.
Oh,
But
definitely.
they didn't, and it kind of makes me think of or wonder, if they wanted to, they could, but they didn't because of the relationship that they're building, the partnership that they have with
Oh,
EA
definitely.
Access.
Want to make friends. You already see like right now, Ubisoft Play, I believe it's called, is now starting to be offered on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean not Steam. Oh my God, Google service, the Google streaming option. God, I don't
Stadia.
even know Stadia. I don't even know what that thing is called anymore because it's not mentioned anymore. But yeah, it's on. It was being offered on Stadia, basically. So now we start seeing a partnership between Ubisoft and Google. So to me, that's kind of like, oh, is by some chance. There's always been rumors running around with Ubisoft about Ubisoft potentially being acquired by somebody. And we all know that Google can afford that, and they definitely need to fuel Stadia. And now all of a sudden, we got Ubisoft Play starting to appear on Stadia. I'm pretty sure Microsoft sees that and wants to definitely make at least some friends, especially with EA. And definitely, we just see how far EA's reach is. And I'm just curious on what Microsoft could potentially do going forward, especially if these big companies all of a sudden get in a bidding war over a certain developer.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I had
EA
to,
has EA has I mean, they're a big player, obviously. They're as much. I would say Sony has a little bit more in terms of. I mean, probably Sony has a little bit more input in it and just overall value than EA does. Just I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Sony's worth a lot of money, but at the same time, EA's huge, and they're a third party developer. So
Oh, I know, and I see like the comment. It's not always about money because obviously Microsoft could have gotten Insomniac or Respawn. True, the other company has to agree to it, but you're not going to find too many companies that are going to reject a couple extra $1 million.
Right. Right. Well, like I said in the chat, I would keep an eye on Microsoft possibly looking towards a Polish-based studio. I mean, obviously everybody talks about CD Projekt Red right now. That anything could happen, but I would even suggest studios like Techland. Who else do we have? The Farm 51.
I could see Remedy possibly. just because they keep having to go and get a sugar daddy, you know, in a sense, someone to fund their game. And, you know, maybe if it's, you know, kind of like with Bungie, with Activision, if it gets a little rocky with what they were with, what was it, 505 Games? You know, how that publishing deal kind of went. And now Microsoft does have that single player with Smilegate that Remedy is making, you know, basically an exclusive single player game for Microsoft. So,
well, they do have a good relationship.
Together. Yeah. Could be kind of like that Insomniac purchase. Like, hey, we have a, you know, long relationship, you know, for the past few decades. And now they see how Microsoft's operating with the new management. Okay, now it makes sense. Maybe it didn't make sense with under Don Matrick or Terry Myerson to like, yeah, we don't like how you guys are being ran, you know, to be acquired back then, but now it'd probably make more sense.
All right, guys, I think we'll move on to our last topic of the evening. And there was a massive update recently, like a week or so ago, from 343 Industries regarding what's going on with Halo Infinite. And it was Joseph Staten, the new creative director, obviously, of he took the reins of Halo Infinite. And he talked a lot about the upgrades of art assets, graphics, all kinds of different things. We also saw some beautiful in-game renders for like different weapons and armor. It's looking like a huge visual upgrade, to say the least. And we found out that the release window is going to be for fall 2021. I'm really curious to hear what everyone thinks about this, that they've kind of narrowed down a release date-ish. Centurion, I know you and we've gone back and forth about Halo Infinite's release date. What are your thoughts on the fall 2021 release window?
I have always thought that they're going to probably try to relaunch this game probably in holiday of next year. Especially probably centering it around another, I want to say relaunch or another relaunch of their next gen consoles, because there's obviously issues with getting a hold of them and stuff right now. So I really see that they have a big moment to definitely release this in the fall of 2021. And I did say earlier this year that I do believe we could see a beta of some kind probably in like the second quarter, basically a few months just before fall, probably sometime around E3, or at least the time that E3 would take place. Because I'm hoping that they're going to want to start getting some hype going, letting people play the multiplayer version of the game, and then kind of getting us all hyped for it and launching the actual game in the fall. I do believe that they have good potential. We have the gentleman who helped create the Gears 5 multiplayer, helping with the multiplayer side of Halo Infinite. And we helped one of the... what was the guy who helped create the first games for Halo? He actually is now doing leading the campaign.
Are you talking about Joe Staten?
Yes. So they have him doing the campaign now. So they have both teams. It seems like they've probably worked out what issues there were internally. They probably have a good chance. But again, like Megatron says, delay the game if you have to. Please don't put out something that's going to basically kind of destroy a character we all loved and grew up with.
Well, I'm really happy to see that they did delay it as long as they have. Again, it's like we were saying about Cyberpunk. You know, I would rather them delay it than have a bad game. Honestly, I really want them to do a good job with Master Chief and just launching a really good Halo game. Make this again the best that you can make it. I have no problem with the delays. I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, I want that next-gen experience Halo game, and I want all the content that's there.
I would have to say, because I want Halo, and because I want it to be good, at this point, I don't go out and seek too much information and like hope and pray that the game is going to come out sooner than later. I just basically kind of just, as a consumer, I'm playing other games. There's plenty of other games between now and then. And when that game is ready, they're going to start hyping it. And when that game comes out, I really do hope it lives up to the hype that they're going to put out for this game.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering what Joe's going to be tinkering with, right? Again, he was at least given an extra year to work on this game, so I'm just kind of wondering what he's fiddling with behind the scenes. If they have to get anybody back for some mocap and so on. I don't know. But he's played the game, though, apparently, I think twice, if I read the update correctly. And he's saying that it's like basically what Bungie had envisioned the original Halo to be, if I'm not mistaken. So that's actually really exciting. So.
No, it really is. And I really, I have high hopes for it. This really, it seems like we all see what they've done with Gears 5. And it seems like they're now approaching Halo with that at least Gears 5 structure when it comes to the internal structure of the studio. You have obviously the people in charge of the entire project, but then you have the lead guy for the multiplayer, the lead guy for the campaign, and they have to answer to their one higher up, and they are literally in charge of pretty much, it's like tunnel vision. Only thing you have to worry about is the campaign. And it's really great to hear that this is going to be a Halo that Bungie would envision.
Right. Now, somebody in the chat, The Geeky Nerd, he says, the real question is, should they cut off the base consoles? What do you think on that?
Oh, God.
They already said they weren't. They said they weren't, though. I thought they already made the statement.
Yeah, there's no need to.
There's no
look
need
at
to.
Cyberpunk. If it runs like it looks amazing on PC and it looks bud on Xbox One and PS4, launch editions, well, it still runs. It might not be in the condition you wanted it.
I feel like they need to have some transparency. Yeah. I think they should have some transparency, which is why I totally feel they need to have not only a beta, but a very significant extended beta. Give people time to go in, look at the game, have some fun with it. Don't do like some 1 week thing. Like really do like a 1 month thing on Game Pass.
Well, they're not going to do betas on the campaign. They're not going to do
a multiplayer beta, so that way people can get a look and feel for the game. And that way, when you guys do because we all see it with multiplayer heavy games. Come on, the servers always crash. By doing a beta, you'd actually be able to get a good measure for demand on your servers. So that way, on the day of the actual launch, you would have enough servers burning for you to be able to handle the demand.
I still think, by the way, that if they do a beta, as far as multiplayer, it'd probably be the best way for them to introduce. If they're going to do it, you hear the rumors of Battle Royale, to kind of do it right then and there. And, with the popularity of that game mode now. So I think it'll be.
Does Halo need a battle royale? It does,
because you got Big Team Battle, but it's like it's the most popular thing to do right now. And then you have Master Chief and Kratos both are in Fortnite, which is one of the biggest battle royale games out right now, which is excellent marketing. So maybe you can get some of those that are. It's going to be free to play, and if you're enjoying it over there, and you want to bring some of those
all
people,
the big team battles are free to play. So
yeah,
the battle royale.
If you're enjoying it over there, you want to bring people over from that Fortnite world over into, the Halo, and you already see this character. Maybe you might be more intrigued to just say, "Hey, let me try it in the Halo universe and see what they have to offer." Put their own spin on it. So I don't think it's a bad idea.
I finally, off topic, I finally figured out why I was sounding like I was in the bathroom the whole time. I had my camera mic on to be used for my actual mic. So that's why it sounded like I wasn't actually using my my standard mic, which I have that's connected right to me. Horrible. That's how tech savvy I am.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're dropping.
Did you hear what I said, Invader? You say absolutely for fucking everything.
Absolutely. Oh man, Jeremy, you're a laugh. You know that? Just so you know.
In more ways than one, buddy.
Yeah, just so you know, guys, drop the Cyberpunk 2077 code courtesy of our friend Megatron.
Holy cow, these dudes are freaking quick.
Dude, yeah,
Damn.
aren't they? What's it? Fusion picked up the code. He's saying thank you. Listen, I am so slow when it comes to even texting. I'm like one finger at a time. Just H, there's a T. I can't do it. It's not me.
I think he's botting. Someone's using a bot. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, well, we're all bots
who
here.
won?
Right?
The only
Who
thing
won
I
the
missed
code?
with the Connect, where you used to be able to hold up the QR codes
Mm-hmm.
to the Connect. Well, they should just bring that with the phone now instead of still using the 25-digit numbers.
So who won?
God, no.
Well, the guy saying thank you, who added TXR
How do you
Podcast, PyCon Fusion.
Oh, okay, nice. Congrats,
Wow.
PyCon.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy, for staying with us. He's a regular. Thanks, buddy, for dropping by, for sticking with us. And everybody in the chat, of course. You guys are always appreciated. That's why, we drop some codes and do some giveaways. We really appreciate you guys tuning in to us. And we want to thank you guys. So as a big thank you, got to support, give you the support that you guys give us.
Dude, he is coming off an adrenaline rush right now.
Look at this guy. Oh, I love this guy. It's great. All
He's
right.
probably walking around the house right now, probably like chest out, like, that's what's up. No.
Yeah, man, enjoy the game. Enjoy it. I can't wait to play it. You heard me, say, express my concerns, but I'm still going to support the game. I'm looking forward to playing it, man. And really can't wait. I'm just right now just patiently waiting because there's, other games for me to play. I'm going to be playing, I got to finish up Yakuza. And I do want to try the Gears DLC that's out. I just haven't had the time because work hours and stuff and shopping and the holidays and so on. That's why I was late, by the way. Just trying to shop and get things done. And but yeah, enjoy the game, brother. And tell me all about it. My DMs are open. So I love everyone's enthusiasm when it comes to gaming. It hurts me when I see someone just not happy with a video game because I know what it does for a lot of people. It just takes us out of the reality that we do on a daily, and it means a lot to people. And that's why somehow we're so passionate. We wear our hearts on our sleeves when it comes to this hobby of ours, and we care.
It's the worst when you're a kid, when you spend your Christmas money and you're like, oh shit, what have I done? I bought Bloodborne 64 for $40. Oh,
as Invader would say, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You were gonna say it right now, huh, fucker?
You listen here, bitch.
You guys hear crunching? I'm eating popcorn.
That's
No,
what it is.
I'm just saying. I'm watching it go down right now.
Oh, hey, happy birthday to PTK.
Oh, you beat me.
Yes, happy birthday. He turned. How old did he turn today?
I have no idea on that.
I think he's 37. 37 years young. But he's a much wiser man than myself, which isn't saying much, but still, he's much wiser than myself. So
Great
happy
show
birthday,
yesterday,
buddy. Yeah.
Dude, I know, and he's also like, how could I, best way to say it, like we were playing, me and my homie Stain Zombie, we were playing Destiny with him last night for like hours, and he made not one mention it was his birthday. And I opened my phone this morning, and it's like, hey, it's his birthday, and I'm like, dude, didn't even tell me, man. I don't even have time to prepare.
All right. Yeah, no, but yeah, happy birthday to PTK. I mean, great community guy, great friend. No, definitely very, very wise guy. And you can hang out with him on Saturday nights with Centurion, Fuzzy Belvedere, and Stagorilla, if I'm not mistaken. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, always a good show. Actually, I gotta get back
dude,
on that someday.
I will say it right now. I feel very honored to be on TXR, but I definitely will say it right now. PTK and the Shot Podcast is one of those undiscovered gems of YouTube. He's just a very positive, caring individual, and I'm very grateful that actually Dealer Gaming introduced me to him, and we pretty much hit it off, and I feel like he's family at this point because I've pretty much been talking to him since we were introduced.
Yeah. Well, he's a local guy to you as well, right? So
Right. And it's actually kind of crazy. That's where when me and PTK were talking one day, we actually found out we live literally a couple blocks from each other.
Yeah,
What?
what's up with that? How come you don't hook up with them, dude?
You don't meet in person?
We have never met in person because
Come
we
on.
like work a lot.
Maybe he
like
stalked
he-
you
dude,
and show you.
I lived in Los Angeles. I traveled all the way to Los Angeles to Phoenix to go visit him. Actually, I worked out there at the time, but while I was there, I went to go see him. Took him out to dinner. We had a good time. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I'll say it right now. I want to actually hang out with him personally. I work literally from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And by that time, it's like, who wants to go hang out with somebody in the middle of the night? Because I know he's a family man. And so definitely I'm trying to find a time to definitely meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I hope you guys finally hook up with each other and hang out and talk some games and throw back a few.
Oh, dude, there's plenty of stuff to do out here in Phoenix. Honestly, that's why you guys ever want to come out outside of the pandemic thing, because there's still plenty of stuff to do here. And like right now, we're actually having a pretty warm winter. It doesn't get very cold here right now.
Sounds like a plan. I love traveling, so hey, I'm down.
Sounds good. Definitely. I'll be up for some of that desert air. But
Absolutely.
Hey,
You'll know
you
when
said
you
it, man.
reach Phoenix when you start seeing the smog down in the bottom of the valley, and you're about to land. No, I'm playing.
Flagstaff's the place to go.
I like Flagstaff. It's nothing like a rural big city. It's a big city, but it's more spread out. And yeah, definitely.
All right, fellas. On that note, I think we'll wrap things up for tonight's show. Obviously, there was a lot to touch on from the past, week or so, 2 weeks, ranging from, everything going on with Cyberpunk, the huge Xbox announcements at the VGAs, along with Halo news. But, thank you all of you who tuned in tonight. We really appreciate all of you who listen in to us week after week and participate in the chat. Again, congrats to PyCon Fusion for winning Cyberpunk 2077. If you guys haven't done so already, if you happen to enjoy tonight's show, then drop a like and share the show out all over social media. Really good show tonight. Panel mates, love the commentary all around. Let's get to some of these outros, and I'll start with Eric Shockley. Buddy, good stuff tonight. Where can everybody find you at?
Yep, as always, you can you can find me at Shock Neuro on Twitter, EZShock on Xbox Live. But yeah, definitely give Cyberpunk a test, since everybody's doing full refunds for it now, so no risk involved, I guess. But yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Moving on further down the list, Centurion Buddy. Good stuff tonight. Where can everybody follow you at?
Oh, man. Well, it was a good show. Thank you once again, gentlemen, for having an awesome conversation about gaming. For those interested, you could find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube, Xbox Live, and, of course, Twitter. For those who are also wanting to hear my lovely voice, I appear on the Shop Podcast every Saturday night with the one and only PTK Blam, and I appear right here every Sunday night with these fine gentlemen on the TXR Podcast.
These fine gentlemen. Always so
I'm sorry.
complimentive.
I know. I'm sorry. Is it okay to use harsh language?
Oh, man, go a little further.
Hey,
Just tell the truth.
speak for yourself.
Oh, we're getting to you, pal.
Absolutely.
This guy. All right. Oh, man. Speaking of which, this guy, my American friend Jeremy, the patriot out of Montana.
American boy.
Now you can't, Invader, now you can't say it anymore because you're going to be so self-conscious that you're going to be like, oh my, every time I say it, Jeremy's going to make fun of me. You can find me on Twitter at LoneMaster07. You can also find me on Xbox at Downer. It's Downer Space J. And you can also find me on PlayStation sparingly. It's Green Knight 07. And that's it. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Go play the Cyberpunk. I'm already 30 hours in. So, yeah, 30 more hours. Here we come.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Listen to the Downer Punk, fellas. And last but not least, Megatron, buddy. Good show tonight. Where can everybody follow you at?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, man. As always, it's Megatron_1975 on Twitter. You can hit me up anytime and every time you want on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Megatron1. And no one's saying anything, but Christmas is right around the corner. This is the last show before we hit the big holiday, man. And I want everybody to have a safe holiday. If you can be with your family safely, do that, man, and enjoy the time we have. And pretty soon we'll be rolling into 2021, and it's been an interesting year, but great hanging out with you guys doing the show. And hope
this next year isn't going to get better, buddy. We still got the mutated virus of
hopefully, things will. We got the vaccine. We got our games. Hope everyone gets the games and the consoles that they may have wanted, or, under the tree. Just be good, everyone. Be safe. Drink that eggnog, because I will. Mine will have something in it. And yeah.
What? I still haven't got my jacket for 2 years. It's been two Christmases already.
It's a couple things coming.
You said because you're lazy and you don't want to go to the post office, and that
it's happening. It's happening either Tuesday or Wednesday. I am late, but it's coming. My political friend.
Yeah. You're late. Story of your life. That's why you have so many kids like me.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right.
Hanukkah, wherever you celebrate your holidays.
And on that note, I'll end this off. Of course, this is Invader signing off, and you guys can find and follow my content on YouTube at Invader Gaming, and of course, I'm active on Twitter at Invader_1986. Thanks again to everyone that tuned in tonight. We look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and yeah, we will see you soon, fellas. Have a good one.
Later.